welcome to the House of ZK Radio, which is a focused podcast and media channel exploring everything ZK, zero knowledge.
Hi everyone, my name is Pavel. I am the host of the House of ZK Radio. Today I am here with Yovela, the co-founder of Fiamma. Yovela, would you like to give an introduction?
Hello everyone, I'm Yovela, co-founder of Fiamma. I previously worked in investment banking at Citi and also investments at Binance Labs. So yeah, and we are basically at Fiamma, we are building the most trustless Bitcoin infrastructure to make Bitcoin more expressive and increase utilization of Bitcoin, so that in the future we can have a Bitcoin center finance and also internet. And then so far the technology that we are using and also pushing forward is BitVM 2. So that currently we already launched the testnet for BitVM trust minimized Bitcoin bridge and also verify and settlement layer as well. And then we are building the official trust minimized Bitcoin bridge for Babylon ecosystem and also Bob. And then currently we also are integrating the most trustless Bitcoin bridge to ecosystem like Arbitrum, ZK Sync Monad, and also Solana in the in the future.
Amazing. So I guess on that topic, what inspired you to create Fiamma? I guess what was the gap in the industry that you were looking to solve?
Yeah, so definitely. My co-founder Simon's not here today, and then he actually has a pretty rich experience in ZK, and then so I actually knew him like for a couple of years, through reading like his articles online, and then so we discussed some technology also some time, and then in the beginning of last year, and then we have a very deep conversation about BitVM. And then at that time when he really explained to me, how BitVM works, that's also that's like the aha moment that I really think that, okay, now we can really have a really big, huge use case in the crypto industry that would actually, go beyond just the crypto, circle. So the thing being that, BitVM, for people who doesn't really know it, it's actually enable Bitcoin to verify ZK proof optimistically. And then, so if you're a bit familiar with the Ethereum, ZK technology, then you can already know, how large the potential, impact would be. So that at that moment, I just believe that this is definitely a 0 to 1 breakthrough for the Bitcoin ecosystem and also the entire crypto ecosystem. So that's why I just decided to, started this project with Simon, and then also he also has a team that he's been working with for 4 or 5 years. And then that's really building ZKVM and some blockchain technologies. So with my expertise in fintech, finance, with his strong engineering research background in ZK, and also blockchain, so we just made a pretty good team to push this forward. And for us, for a lot of people, when they know, but for people who know a bit about BitVM, they will think that, okay, BitVM equals to the BitVM bridge. But for us, it's actually not. BitVM bridge is just one of its very useful, practical use case. But for, if you are able to verify, ZK proof optimistically on Bitcoin, there are so many possibilities that you can unlock, right? That's why we're also building the ZK settlement layer on Bitcoin as well.
Interesting. Actually, following up to that, so what inspired you to? So you started with the Bitcoin bridge and I guess BitVM 2, and you're also looking at the verification of ZK proofs on Bitcoin as well. I guess what inspired you to create that direction for that process?
Yeah. So for us, from our approach, so how we handle things, how we decide what we would do, is based on what we think, like where the problem is, right? So, so now we see that okay, um, Bitcoin, computer Ethereum, it just has so limited, programmability. Then so intuitively speaking, then if we can just enhance, its expressiveness with the BitVM, then you can just unlock a lot of potential. So actually, the first infrastructure that we built is the verification slash settlement layer that implement BitVM too. And then we think that, okay, the bridge is actually one of its use cases, because bridge actually, we know that, when you're trying to connect, one ecosystem from the other, you need to verify the state of the other chain, right? So verification is a core part in the bridge as well. So we think that will be like an important use case that we expand into. And in the early days, we actually didn't think about building a bridge ourselves. We're thinking about, okay, we're offering the verification like feature capability to other like bridging companies, or some ecosystem, and then we can work together for the bridge, right? But later we found that, okay, for the bridge, we found that it's more efficient and maybe safer to just we build ourselves. So that's how we also build the bridge at the moment.
Got it. That's very critical to be able to verify proofs, and in order to make sure that the transactions that has occurred actually has occurred successfully, so that the bridging operations or any type of messaging can be correctly done. So very critical piece for the verification. So in terms of the in terms of the overall process, can you go into like a little bit of an overview on how this the process of pegging in and pegging out would work with I believe it's a Mama BTC.
Yeah, so far it's called Mama BTC. So in the future we might update the name, but I think it's kind of cute, so we keep it at the moment. So we are called Fiamma, right? So it's very natural that the BTC is called Mama BTC, and yeah. So for the deposit process, so we know that traditionally when you use like multi-sig bridges, you just basically just send your Bitcoin to the other entity's address, right? And then which is completely giving up your custody. However, in BitVM bridge, we are actually mitigating that. That's actually we need to thank the taproot upgrade. So with taproot address, you can actually presign a series of transactions that determine exactly how this locked Bitcoin can be spent. So in this way, you can actually kind of have a bit of like smart contract capability, but actually not to that level. That could also when something happened, that the user can withdraw the Bitcoin. So this is predetermined directly using the Bitcoin existing opcodes. And then so when we presign, actually the user need to presign with the bridge committee. And then when people hear about bridge committee, they will think, oh, it sounds like multi-sig. And it's actually quite different, because the role of the committee is just acting as the counterparty to to presign this transaction. So because after signing, all the conditions are determined, then you just cannot basically, even the covenant committee want to act maliciously or go offline, then it's just not going to affect the user's ability to withdraw this BTC under the right conditions that's already determined beforehand. So that's how we can also ensure that during the peg-in, like the deposit phase, it's also super secure. And then also during the withdrawal, like which is the peg out process, then it starts with like, okay, the user will burn like the Mama BTC on a side chain. Like side chain means the destination chain. For let's say I burn one Mama BTC on Ethereum, and then I will generate like the ZK inclusion proof to prove that, okay, this transaction is actually included in the block. And then I will also generate like validity, a proof that actually prove the execution validity of the block. So yeah, so and then the bridge operator will verify this proof, and then and it seems like it's valid. Then the operator would give the BTC to the user, first, like a prepayment, so the user can really get back the BTC very quickly and happily and buy, and then the operator would need to wait for a couple of days for the potential challenge, right, to prove that so the operator would actually issue another transaction to Bitcoin, which would include a lot of information about I did pay, the user. So if the operator act maliciously, right? It's for instance, the operator didn't pay at all, but the operator said, I actually paid 100 BTC. I want to, take 100 BTC, from the user's pool, the BTC that locked by the users. Then, then people can just, found out. We only need one user to find that there's an issue. Then we can kick off the challenge process. Then the malicious operator will be slashed directly on Bitcoin. So this is how we can deter the operator from acting maliciously. And then during Happy Pass, the operator is just very honest, and then she can just take back the Bitcoin after a couple of days.
Awesome. I like the process of this where assets are essentially given up front, and then later on there's that optimistic challenge period where anybody can come in and essentially say that fraud has occurred, and then as a result and anyone can make that challenge. And but the UX of that is that the users get the funds up front, so they don't need to wait for that however long a process like they do in traditional optimistic rollups. So in terms of you guys are also working on a indexer for BRC20 tokens. So I guess what inspired you to also create that indexer specifically for that? Where did you see that market need?
Oh, okay. So I think for that one, it's a use case for the ZK verification layer, and then so far we haven't started, developing it yet. So far we are focusing on building the BitVM bridges and also the Bitcoin settlement layer. So but for that, definitely because currently definitely a lot of issues with BRC20 assets that actually rely on offline centralized indexers, which could be corrupted. So with ZK technology and also combination with BitVM, we can actually leverage Bitcoin security to ensure the whole the indexing process. So that's a very important use case for the verification / settlement layer as well. And then we are also very looking forward to see if there is any project they're interested in building a centralized indexer. You can also reach out to us or try out our verification settlement layer DevNet.
Awesome. And it was mentioned in your documentation, the fungible transfers. Can you also describe any challenges for implementing that, or just an overall overview of that?
Yeah. So for fungible, so there are actually two ways of looking at the issue. So for fungibility, it means that the asset can actually, the first is the asset can be transferred to other, and the second is that the asset can actually can be broken up pretty easily, and so for the the Bitcoin is using a UTXO model, and actually it's a very painful model to work with. So which means that for the bridge, when you deposit for instance 1 BTC, and also another person deposit 2 BTC, for instance. So now you have kind of 2 pack-in instances, and when you withdraw, you cannot I want to withdraw like 3 BTC, all the like very easily in one transaction.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to like do it like, okay, I need to withdraw 1 and then withdraw 2 BTC. So that's actually not like, that's actually created some, like, it's not very inconvenient to work with. So that's actually the fungibility issue that the BitVM bridge might have. So to really work around that, we have to, bring into external liquidity provider that can help you like to pegging additional to also enable you to pegging like a an arbitrary amount that you want. So that's like the work around with it. But however, for the BitVM bridges, we would see that it would be mainly used for larger amount of BTC, transfer. So it's better for like tools that you can mint more BTC, mint more tokenized BTC in like the programmable blockchain ecosystems, so that user can actually just swap with the BTC, the tokenized BTC. So in this case, the user will still have great experience, but all the but they are also able to withdraw to the native Bitcoin just permissionlessly with our BitVM bridge solutions.
Got it. And I know that you said that you're integrating with multiple different networks. I believe like Arbitrum and Monad was mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any I guess reasons for choosing those specific blockchains or like what are the intentions behind it?
So for these, I think there are mainly 2 ways, 2 like aspects. The first is the technology. So we know that like most of the blockchains are built with EVM, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then so there are also some major EVM network. So that's why it's easier for us to just bridge into them. And then the second is also more about like some sort of like their emphasis on the BTCFi applications and also more potential yield earning opportunity for our Bitcoin holders as well. For instance, like Monad, so they will also do some sort of campaigns that could also give great opportunities for Bitcoin holders to participate.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we chose to integrate with those first. And then we are actually working on Solana and then other ecosystem at the moment. But we know that Solana actually have like a different, environment. And then currently it actually doesn't have a mature ZK SVM. But we already built like a ZK-like client for Solana in-house. And so the issue is that if without, if we cannot get the ZK proof that prove the execution validity on Solana, then the bridge itself would be less, trustless as it's supposed to be. Then so that's also why we are actually currently building out like a ZK EVM on top of our bridge and also our verification layer. So this is an app chain purposely built for like aggregating liquidity and facilitating a very safe BTC transfer, because we know that we can first very like easily and securely bridge the Bitcoin to a ZK environment, and then we can use like a lot of like great interoperability solutions across programmable blockchains to bring the Bitcoin to whatever ecosystem that they want to go to. So this will be a more secure and efficient way to approach, to get closer to the vision that we want to achieve.
Amazing. I like the idea of interoperability and I guess when you're looking into that I guess ZK EVM, the goal of that, correct me if I'm wrong, is to coordinate these asset transfers across multiple different blockchains. So it's acting as like a form of like a coordination layer.
Yes, yeah. And then that's also great for both security and also efficiency as well, not just from like capital efficiency perspective, but also from like your engineering, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because like, well, if you want to like use BitVM bridge directly to different ecosystem, that means that you need to maintain ZK-like clients on different chains, and also you need to ideally you need to have generate ZK proof to prove the execution validity for Solana, Move, or other newer, VM.
Yeah.
So this actually, well, it's also like more engineering workload as well.
Got it. And I guess like there's a lot of moving pieces across the transferring of Bitcoin to different layers. What are some of the some of the processes used to make this more simpler for, let's say, developers to integrate within this? Is there any potential like SDKs or any tools that help it make it easier for them?
Yeah. So for now, for our focus will be like enable Bitcoin holders to engage in the ecosystem, like a lot of ecosystem out there. So for now, particularly, the developers, like for instance, for the DeFi protocols, they would just directly take our tokenization of the Bitcoin. That would be like pretty straightforward and easy. And then, so that's our current process. And then for the user side, we will also like streamline the user experience, even though I explained to people, like, okay, how BitVM work, right? It's very complicated. And then like actually how I actually bridge it to ZK EVM first and then interoperate with like Solana and put into the DeFi vault, into earn use. This is too complicated. So I don't think that users should know this. They should just feel that, okay, it is secure, and that's also very like easy to use. So yeah, so definitely we will make sure user experience is pretty streamlined as well. And then in the future, definitely with our like settlement layer and also our bridge, these are also some core pieces that can enable you to basically leverage Bitcoin security and also use Bitcoin asset very securely. Then definitely you can build your app chains, whatever, on top of Bitcoin with our SDK, right? So that will be like a further down in our milestone, because we do believe that when we succeed, like okay, we attract enough users and then TVR, and then so people will think that okay, it's actually making sense. So developers will be very excited about also building on our infrastructure rather than the other way around.
Got it. And with I guess so the priority here is to make the experience seamless so that they just have one asset representation on their one chain, and then to use the coordination layer that you provide, the bridge-based protocol, to then be able to transfer it across different types of ecosystems. And essentially the outer complexities are already solved within this within the bridge itself. I guess in this way, like are there? I know you mentioned the integration between the other blockchains like Solana and other ecosystems. Are there any other upcoming integrations that you have coming up? Is there I guess like any kind of like announcements there?
Yeah, so for the announcement at the moment, so basically with the ZK EVM, right? And then so far there's like many cool and like great interoperability protocols, like for instance like Xsolar and a lot like great interoperability solutions. So if you integrate with them, actually you can automatically get access to a lot of different blockchains. So in the future, definitely the potential is definitely endless, just with our current architecture and our technology. And then, but I do feel like we would need to focus on where we are going, right? Because for our end goal is at this current stage, we just want to like, okay, the Bitcoin holders, when they trust us and then deposit their BTC into our bridge, definitely number one is to ensure safety. And second is that we need to ensure that they can earn yields easily, right? So definitely we'll focus on the ecosystem that will have great, DeFi activity that can provide great and sustainable yields for the Bitcoin holders.
Amazing, amazing. And is there any final words or thoughts that you would like to share to get people, I guess, excited about either the developments or future plans for Fiamma?
Yeah, so I would say something that's more high level. So because like I feel like we do need to zoom out a little bit, right? Now we have the BitVM, and then we have like projects that are utilized in the BitVM technology, and we have like different modification to work with your different use cases, right? And then zooming out, we actually, we know that we have like so much Bitcoin that's still not utilized, and then also have so many people that's actually not having Bitcoin, but they should have Bitcoin. So the market potential is definitely like, endless here. And then but what's really missing, like apart from, so that because we also know like from a lot of like institution investors of Bitcoin, also like Bitcoin wealth or like some retail, they are very concerned about like, putting their Bitcoin into like other like centralized, DeFi or like infrastructure projects. And so that's like that trustlessness part, it's a thing that we can solve with the BitVM technology that we're building. But the second thing is also the user experience piece, right? So so for me, like even in Ethereum ecosystem or other ecosystem that's programmable, they have a lot of like DeFi U opportunity. I'm still very lazy to use it, and it's so difficult for me, even for the person that's been in the industry for a while, right?
Me too. Yeah. Very lot of complexities.
Yeah. So definitely, I feel like to really, bring more people, not just bring more people, they're not inside, that's outside of Web3 to here to use Bitcoin, right? Also, even just trying to enable more people in the crypto industry to utilize Bitcoin and use it to do stable coin or like to like earn yields by lending out a lot of those simple things. I feel like we do need a application that have great user experience. So that's also what we would really focus on. And the third would be like great sustainable yield opportunities, like RWA and different type of like, DeFi protocols that can also provide quite sustainable, yield sources as well. So we will also balance out the sustainable part of income also with like some, short-term farming incomes, so that you can have a better general return for our users.
Amazing. You provide the infrastructure and the simplicity of the I guess the DeFi protocols and interactions will stem from that, helping the users earn yield off of the asset that is most recognizable, which is Bitcoin. Thank you so much, Yovela, for your time.
Okay, thank you so much too. It's such a great conversation with you today.
Amazing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.